Welcome back to Giants Latest. Hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up to stay up to date on all things New York Giants. Now, tonight the schedule officially gets released, but it wouldn't be a schedule release day without some leaks. So let's go ahead and talk through some of the games that have been leaked so far. And I really want to focus on the Giants season opener because it's something. But let's talk about this. So, the first 3 weeks of the Giants season, weeks 1 and 2 are both away. Not only are they away games, they are division rivals. So, in the first 6 weeks, we play 3 out of 6 division games. So, that's going to be a really nice test for us Giants, isn't it? So, week 1 is away at Washington. We start week 1 playing the Commanders, a Sunday afternoon game. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 1 o'clock, although I don't officially know if they've announced that yet. We'll find out tonight. I'm sure it's going to be 1 o'clock, season opener at the Commanders. Then, week 2, we are away in Dallas. That's right. We have back-to-back division games. So I feel great about that. I don't know how you guys feel. And then, are you ready? This is the icing on the cake. The week 3 game, which is the Giants home opener, is a Sunday night football game. Okay? Do you want to guess who it's against? It's the Kansas City Chiefs. That's right. That's right. The Giants home opener is a Sunday night football game against the Chiefs. And all I have to say is I hate the NFL. What did we do to you? We are literally one of the worst teams in the league. We had the 3rd overall pick. We won 3 games last year, and this is our repayment? Really? Really? And what really pisses me off the most about it is, yes, it's the Chiefs. Yes, it's a Super Bowl team. Yes, it's a Sunday night game, which is the most annoying thing. I hate primetime games. I really do. And we already know that the Giants have 3 of them this year. Of course, a Sunday, a Monday, and a Thursday. And hopefully that's it. The worst part about this is that if you're not a season ticket holder, like me, I don't have season tickets, the prices for that stupid game are going to be through the roof. You know why? Because of Taylor Swift. And that pisses me off because I wish she was going to be on tour. I really wish. But it pisses me off because it's not just about football anymore. And the thing that also pisses me off is that you know that half of the Chiefs fans that are going to be there are not actually football Chiefs fans. They're just like, oh, well, Taylor Swift likes the Chiefs, so I like the Chiefs. And look, it's great that more women are getting into sports and that they're getting into the NFL. I love that. I think it's really important that there's representation. I hope that it helps the NFL as a whole. But you don't all have to root for the Chiefs, okay? If you want to get into the football because you love Taylor Swift, please, for the love of God, pick any other team except for the Chiefs or the Eagles, okay? You've got 30 other options of teams. And now the Giants home opener is going to be ruined because it's bad enough that it's going to be a really hard game for the Giants. It's bad enough that it's a primetime game. And then it's even worse because Taylor Swift is going to be there and the prices are going to be through the roof. So, as you can tell, I'm not thrilled about it. You guys let me know how you feel about it in the comments, but I'm sure there's a lot of us that are feeling the same way. And if you're a season ticket holder, God bless. You can probably make double the amount of money of what you paid for those tickets. So if I were you, I'd probably take advantage of that. Although I know we want more Giants fans there, but I just think this is going to be a really tough game. We're, of course, going against Spags. The thing that makes me feel a little bit better about the schedule this year than last year. Of course, it's the hardest schedule in the NFL. It's literally the hardest. But we have Russ Wilson as opposed to Daniel Jones. And I hope that that's enough for people to feel like slightly optimistic that this isn't going to be the worst season ever when you see the schedule. Because after seeing the schedule, I'm feeling worse than I was feeling a couple weeks ago. So, that, of course, I feel like at least there's experience there, right? There's a guy who knows how to read defense, a guy who can throw the ball down the field, a guy who's not afraid to throw the ball away and is not going to take a ton of meaningless sacks like Daniel Jones did. So those things coupled with the fact that we have more offensive linemen, there are more good defensive players on this team. Last year, the defense that we had was leading the NFL in sacks for about 7 to 8 weeks. So there are some things that make me feel optimistic, but I'm cautiously optimistic because last year I looked at the schedule and thought, we can win 10 or 11 games. And this year, I don't think we're going to get anywhere close to that. I'm sorry. I don't mean for this to be depressing. Let's move along and talk about the NFC East. Speaking of depressing. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, all of those things being said, I do think the Giants are in a much better place this year from a talent perspective. I think even from a coaching perspective, am I worried about Dable? Yes. But I do feel like him and Russell Wilson is going to be a very good combination. Kafka has been calling the plays during rookie minicamp, and I know that doesn't really mean much. Let's continue to watch that and see if he ends up doing it throughout training camp and the preseason. That I think we could feel confident that Kafka's doing that. And keep in mind, Kafka has a lot of experience coming from the Chiefs. He also has had multiple head coach interviews. He called the plays for us in 2022 when we won 9 games and made it to the playoffs. So I think there are good things about Kafka calling the plays. Do I think that means that we're all of a sudden going to be a winning team in the NFC East? No, but I do think that it's really going to help, and it's going to take something off of Dable's plate. And I think that ultimately, Dable, where he's at in his career right now as a head coach, he needs to not call the plays. Let Kafka do it, and he can focus on other things that need to be improved. So I think when you look at the NFC East as a whole, I actually think that the Giants have an opportunity to be better than the Cowboys this year. I think the Commanders are going to be tough, and we all know the Eagles are going to be really tough. So I think the Eagles are going to win the division again. I hope I'm wrong on that. It's just where I'm at right now. They obviously had a good draft. They had a good free agency. They're bringing everyone back. Everyone stayed relatively healthy. They have the same coaching staff. Like, not really a lot has changed. So I just think realistically, it's hard for me to say that I think the Eagles are going to take a step back, because I think that would be a little crazy, as much as I would like to say that. The Cowboys, on the other hand, didn't do a lot in free agency. Yes, they brought in a wide receiver. I do think bringing in Pickens is going to help them. I also think that Pickens is going to destroy their locker room. And I know they have guys like Dak Prescott, who's obviously is a good locker room guy, but it's Pickens, and they have a new head coach, which also is not being talked about enough when I think we talk about Dallas and what their future looks like, especially this year. Aside from the fact that they didn't really do a lot in free agency, sure, they had a decent draft. We don't really know how that's going to pan out until the season starts. But Dak is getting a little bit older. He is dealing with a new head coach. He's probably learning a new system. And yes, he has a lot of experience and things like that are going to benefit him. But I don't see it for the Cowboys this year. I just don't. I said the same thing last year. Unfortunately, I also thought the Giants were going to be better, but I was right about the Cowboys being bad. And I just think the same is going to be like this for Dallas. Like, there's so many changes that were made this year. Dak is coming back from an injury. So I just think that the Giants can make it above them. I think they can end up third in the division. Do I think they can make it second in the division? If they had a different schedule, yes. I really think that this schedule is going to be really hard for this team, especially the first 4 weeks. And the biggest problem that I have, and the reason why I'm so concerned about the first 4 weeks, is that the Giants historically have started out the season really slow, not just under Dable, but I would say for the last 8 years, maybe more. It seems like they are the only team who has no idea what's going on the first 4 weeks of the season. It's an extension of preseason for them. They barely play any of the players in the preseason. So by the time week 1 starts, all of the starters are finally getting some reps together against a live team that seems to have it better together than they do. So I'm worried about weeks 1 through 4. I think if they can come out strong against the Commanders week 1, if they can show up competitive, if they can beat the Commanders, then I will have some hope that this season will not get derailed by week 4. Now, if they're 1-3 by week 4, oh God, I don't even want to talk about it. Let's not go there. But I do, like I said, I think they can beat out Dallas, and I think that they will have a shot at the Commanders. So let's talk about my predictions now, what I think the rest of the schedule is going to look like. So we already have weeks 1 through 6. Let's go through it real quick. We've got week 1, Washington, week 2, Dallas, week 3, Chiefs, week 4, Chargers at home, week 5, away at the Saints, and then week 6 is home at versus the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. So that looks pretty ugly to me. What I think the rest of the schedule is going to even out a little bit. So I hope that we're going to get some luck with like the Raiders and the Patriots being games that are semi-close together. Those are games that I think the Giants are capable of winning. I do think they're capable of splitting with the Commanders and with Dallas. I think they're going to get swept by Philly. Until I see them actually play well on the football field, I do not believe that they are a good enough team to match up well against Philly. I think the Commanders had some holes in their game last year. I think Jaden Daniels is an amazing quarterback, but there is a possibility for a sophomore slump. So, it's happened with other quarterbacks. It happened with CJ Stroud. I think that there's a possibility that that could happen with him too. Maybe I'm banking too much on that, but I think that the Giants could be better in the division maybe than we think they are, at least versus those two teams. For the rest of the schedule, I think it's going to be tough, but like I said, if the first 6 weeks is really the toughest part about it and they can get some easier games for a couple weeks in a row, I think maybe they could build back some confidence. It's going to be tough to say, but the schedule officially comes out tonight. We're going to review it tomorrow, and then maybe we will make some official win-loss projections. So come back tomorrow for that.